here again for another movie review. As you can tell by the hat and by the poster, I got to see 30 minutes or less early. I got to see it yesterday, actually, at an advanced screening, and it was probably my most anticipated comedy of the year. It was in my top 3 most anticipated. The first was Hangover Part 2, the second was Bad Teacher, and then this movie. Hangover 2 and Bad Teacher, they were both okay. This Hangover especially didn't live up to its hype or potential. So I was really hoping that 30 minutes or less would be like the first really great comedy of the year, because none of them really stood out. I liked Horrible Bosses the most before this. I just was so happy that this movie was good. Anyway, the story is about Jesse Eisenberg, who plays a pizza delivery guy named Nick. He has to deliver pizzas in 30 minutes or less, obviously the title of the movie, otherwise the pizza's free. So he's doing this, and he just had a falling out with his best friend Chet, played by Aziz Ansari, this guy right here. Meanwhile, Danny McBride and Nick Swartz and these two guys, these two bumbling idiots right here, they want to kill Danny McBride's dad, played by Fred Ward from Tremors, because he is a dick, or at least to Danny McBride, and because he won the Michigan lottery and has like $10 million, so they want to kill him to get his inheritance money and to open up a tanning salon / brothel. So that's their master plan. So they kidnap Nick. They put a bomb on him, and they tell him to rob a bank in 10 hours and get $100 grand, so they can pay for the hitman, and otherwise he's going to be blown to smithereens. And he enlists Chet to help him on this journey, and hijinks ensue. I love bank robbery movies. I love Point Break, which the people actually, the Chet and Nick, they actually watch before they rob the bank. And I love The Town, and I love a bunch of bank robber movies, and I always had the idea of having a bomb strapped to you and having to get a certain something in a certain amount of time was a really cool premise. So I was really looking forward to this movie, and I really liked the cast. I'm so happy to say that 30 Minutes or Less is a hilarious comedy and probably the funniest movie since the original Hangover that I've seen. The chemistry between everybody in the movie is fantastic. Nick and Chet have a really realistic relationship in the way their friendship doesn't seem forced. It actually feels like they've been friends for a really long time, even though they've had sort of a falling out. And Danny McBride and Nick Swartzen as the two idiots were really funny. I thought Nick Swartzen may have been my favorite in the cast because he, besides Jesse Eisenberg, actually brought a surprising amount of dimension to his character, believe it or not. And he also had a couple of the funniest lines in the movie, at least in my opinion. And also Michael Pena as the hitman Chongo and the satanic Hispanic is hilarious, and he was just the crowd loved it. I mean, the crowd at my screen was going apeshit, no pun intended, for this movie. There was a couple times, 5 or 6 times, where the whole theater erupted just at once, and it was great to watch. The bank robbery is really fun. It was cool to see that. And just the way that the film is so short and it moves so rapidly, it's only 83 minutes long, it actually feels like you are with Nick, trying to get there in time so the bomb doesn't explode. And I just thought everybody had really funny lines, and you could tell when there was improv. The only really problems I had with them, they're small things, is that Danny McBride, don't get me wrong, he did have some laugh out loud moments, but it seemed like every word that came out of his mouth was either fuck or shit, and sometimes it just kind of got on my nerves a little bit in some scenes, but it didn't ruin the movie for me. Also, at 83 minutes, the film does move along at a fast pace, but still feels like 15 minutes longer than it really is. But that, like I said, that didn't really bother me. And the climax of this movie, it is short, but it is insane, and that's when the movie gets absolutely hysterical, because the first hour of the movie I thought was okay, but it was funny, but it was still like the other comedies where it hasn't gotten really fantastic, and it's not particularly memorable, and there wasn't a lot of laugh out loud moments. But not only is the last 20 minutes exciting, and they have flamethrowers and stuff going on, But they also have some laugh out loud moments and some great jokes that they bring up in the beginning of the movie, and they bring them full circle near the end of the movie, and they are just hilarious to watch. And also stay for the end credits because they have like a secret ending over there. And Jesse Eisenberg, another cool fact, he did the stunt driving for the movie, so like the car chase and the beginning sequence, that was actually him driving, which is pretty cool. And like I said, just this movie has some fantastically funny scenes. I just really love 30 Minutes or Less. I'm so happy it lived up to the potential that I thought it had, and that's why I'm going to give it 4.5 out of 5. And I never give comedies that rating. I've only given The Hangover, I think, that rating before. This is definitely one of my favorite comedies, and I love it. Definitely check out 30 Minutes or Less if you've been aching to see like the first great comedy of the year. It's kind of funny. Everybody thought that Bridesmaids was the best movie for The Hangover, and I hated that movie. It's my least favorite comedy of this year. And now this movie is actually my favorite, so I thought that was kind of a funny thing. 30 Minutes or Less is a great comedy. I definitely suggest everybody to go see it, especially if you're a fan of Zombieland, because Ruben Fliescher directed that movie, and he directed this movie. And I'm just me, 7388, and thanks for watching.